Welcome to today's episode of Brett Beer Show, sponsored by James Restaurant. I'm your host, Chase Gardner. With me is Coach Beer. Coach Beer, how you feeling today?
Well, we keep playing pretty good, so I'm pretty happy today.
Yes, sir.
And we're in the new house.
New house, a little bit of change of scenery. Nice view of the field from right here.
Yeah, beautiful place. Going to be the best facilities in the state.
Oh, yes, sir. Coach, we just came off winning 3 district games back-to-back. But I want to talk about special teams.
Yep.
We saw a big change in special teams from the jamboree on to now. Big kickoff.
Yeah.
Being able to get the ball back. How important is that for the team now, for the rest of the season, and when we go to make big runs in the playoffs?
Well, it's one opportunity to help the defense. You got to win the field position battle. If you want to win football games at a high level, if you want to win a state championship, we have to get back to some of the basics of winning the clock battle, winning the field position battle, and you do that with special teams. Our punt team has been really lights out with Luke Wilson as the punter and flipping the field. And then our kickoff team had some struggles early on coverage-wise. We had a misunderstanding between a squib kick and an onside kick at times. Weren't getting our sky kicks deep enough. And, with that, they were able to get little returns but put us in a bad spot, putting them in a good spot. So we made a couple changes, got some things straight, and I've been really pleased with the way we've gone. I don't mind them starting on the 30 or 35. We're just fine there. I just don't want them starting on the 45 to 50. So we have gotten better special teams-wise. We've won some of the field position battle, or what we need to win the field position battle. And because of it, we've played better.
Sure. Let's get into some of the live action highlights at Denham Springs versus Prairieville. Jackets take the field. White helmets, worked real hard for that right there. Black jerseys, white pants. I like to say redemption.
Yeah, sleek look right there, and the white helmets were earned. And that's what makes them so special, is what you've poured into the opportunity to wear the white helmet.
Jackets take the field first right here. Hands it off to Brendan Paul. He gets a nice run, but he's later brought down right here by Prairieville's defense. Jackets up once again. Quarterback face handoff. Starts to want to roll out the pocket, throws it in the end zone, but it's an incomplete pass into Mr. Brendan Shields. Just couldn't get to it right there. Johnny Barber up for the kick, and his kick is good to make the score 3-0. Jackets with a 3-point lead in the game right here. Hands it off. Prairieville hands it off. Later brought down right there. First hit right there by Cedric Polk. Good stop right here. See defense fired up. Prairieville's punt team's up, but it's blocked by number 18, Quentin Clay, and the rolls out of bounds. Coach, we just talked about the special teams. Stepping up in the big home, you see Quentin Clay not only on punt, but on kickoff as well. Not kickoff,
field goal block. Yeah. The big thing is you got a chance to swing momentum and throw a big haymaker right here, and that's what we did. Their snap was a little to their left, which was to our right, making Clay have a perfect angle to go get it, and he did just that. Football player making a football play, and we needed that, and he got it.
So Jackets ball, throws it to Hayden Ray. He finds room up the side. He's running up the sideline. They're trying to get him, just missed him, but he scored the touchdown right here. Coach, you see Jackets, miss a touchdown right here, pass in the end zone, but how important is it to be able to bounce back and score like this?
Yeah, again, we talked about critical possessions and bouncing back after big plays. Well, that's what we just did. We had the block punt, then we were able to finish this drive. And, more importantly, the team effort. Look at the blocks by your receivers downfield to spring him to the end zone. And really a lot of fun to watch all these guys in sync as it unfolds to be the perfect throw to the perfect catch, and two great blocks.
Prairieville's ball, QB decides he want to keep it. He finds a little bit of open room, and he's running, so he's trying to catch him, and he runs up the side for a touchdown. Coach, how important is it going to be for the defense to be able to prevent the QB scramble with a fast QB like this?
The kid is special. He's going to make plays. We knew that going into it, but ideally, you'd like to keep your edge. We kind of bailed right there and gave a soft edge. And with a quarterback that's athletic like that, all he needs is some space. You make one man miss and you're out the gate. Ideally, we would like to not give up the big plays, but it's going to happen. But realistically, that was really the best play of their night and the only play of their night. So I was really pleased with the way we cleaned it up after that and got it done.
Sure. Jackets ball. Quarterback rolls out the pocket, looking for someone to throw it to. Throws it downfield and it's complete right here to his brother, Deshaun Goldman, who makes Dukes of defender out the way right there, scheduled for a touchdown. Coach, how you feel about this play, about this sketch, really?
A football player making a football play. Again, we cannot say it enough. Those two dudes are on a different page. When something breaks down or something changes, they're synced up to where they go together. And one keeping the ball alive right there, talking to his brother. You see the little hand gesture to his brother, getting him open. He comes in, he makes the play, breaks the tackle, makes the man miss, and you can see put a little slide right there and puts on the burners and finishes. And those are the big plays that, in a big situation. I want to say it was like a 3rd and long situation, and that's one thing. You get behind the sticks and you just have the gumption to make a play like that, to not just get a first down but a touchdown is big for us.
Bravo up the kick, and his kick is no good. scores 16-7. Jackets with the lead. Fakes the handoff. Finds someone throws the ball is in the air and it falls right into the hand of Brandon Sills. Mr. Lombardo with a money shot right there. You know, Coach, how do you feel about Brandon Sills? Been able to make a comeback right here. You know, saw him not being able to get a pass early on in the end zone, but see him come back and get it now.
Well, that's what we talk about. You know, you got to shake off the bad plays. They're going to happen. It's normal. You know, you have a big drop in the end zone. You're probably pretty down. He's been beat up between the first play and the return. And here it is on the money. Double move. He pumps him. He gets by him. And ball was perfectly thrown, perfectly caught, and a big-time play by Six, which we love seeing because he's a big-time playmaker. I love his little dance right there.
Prairieville's ball hands off to number 7, but he's later brought down here by Apollo, the Jacket defense. What a perfect play right here to get a nice stop. Jackets up on the field. Goldman finds somebody, throws it to his brother once again, wide open. See, makes another defender miss. Runs it up the side right here for a touchdown. No, Coach. See the Goldmans reacting once again. The toy connection, I like to call it.
Yeah. I mean, again, huge opportunity for a big play. You know, we make that catch. You've seen us drop that a couple times this year. And that night we caught it. And not only did he catch it, but he made a move. Had a little slide, a little shimmy right there, made a guy miss. And really just with the finish, you know, he looked really fast with the finish. And that's a big thing. You got explosive receivers, you can have an explosive offense, especially with a quarterback that's getting the ball in space. So what you're seeing is a lot of players making a lot of plays, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And we've grown. You know, offensively, we've gotten a ton better than we were early in the year, and a lot of it has to do with these receivers and that quarterback.
Yes, sir. Prairieville up the punt. This time, punt isn't blocked. Number 4, Tanner Kerner back there to receive it. He gets it, finds an open room right here. He's running. Gets hit by the face mask and then hit down. What a good run right here by Kerner, being able to move around the field. Hands it off right here to Britton Paul, makes a good run for it, scores a touchdown. You know, the Jackets coming off a touchdown right here after a few flags being thrown. You know, how important is it to see the team react to losing yardage, you know, and just be able to come back here and score a touchdown?
Yeah, again, you know, we're doing some things we haven't done a whole lot in the past, and that's shake those things off and finish drives, make the big plays in critical possessions, and you see just that. And Britton Paul finishing is something we're getting really used to and loving to see. Kids playing unbelievable, and no different right there with that finish.
Jackets up the kick, Joseph Ferrer back there, falls out of the defending hand and sees it right here picked up and brought down here by number 32, Christopher McKnight. Talked about special teams, you can see it right here. You see they're fired up, excited. Jackets ball, Goldman steps back, throws it. So now he throws it downfield, but it's picked off right here by Prairieville. They're down close to the 1 yard line. Defense, trusting the defense, come right here and make a good stop. Prairieville's ball. Quarterback steps back in the pocket, throws it right here to number 38. Looks like he's been hawked down by number 7, K now, and he's brought down. Jackets ball. Goldman throws the ball right here to a sophomore, Jalen Williams, who scored right touchdown. You know, Coach, we talk a lot about the young players stepping up in big moments. You know, how do you feel about seeing this sophomore, you know, still have 2 years to come up and shine, you know, being able to shine in a big game like this?
Well, I mean, y'all heard me say it. Like, 24 is a kid that really excites me. We think he's going to have a big-time career here. You know, he's another one, doesn't say a whole lot. He comes to work every day. He's got the great attitude. You can see he's really fast. He's really freakishly athletic. And just a kid that's coming onto the scene about the same time Trey Seals came on last year. So you're going to see 24 kind of work into here and be a big factor for us down the stretch, because he's another one that's a playmaking player that's going to be a lot of fun to watch grow and become a big-time Jacket for us by the time he leaves and graduates.
So you see that fired up for him. Prairieville QB Saucy want to keep. He's trying to sprint out, but big hit right there by Quentin Clay, but it's later brought down by Pollard Jacket defense. Just bring the Jackets right here in the halftime, still with the lead. Important to keep the momentum coming back into the second half. Jackets ball in the second half right here. Goldman throws it down right there to Brandon Sills. He's later hit out of bounds. Jackets ball. Goldman rolls out the pocket, throws it in the end zone to his brother once again. You know, like you say, you saw him drop a few catches like this, but you know he's showing his growth throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you ask these guys to all get better. It doesn't matter who they are. And guys like this, some of your better players or better playmakers, you know, you constantly ride them about getting better as well. And you know, there's no excuse. And they continue to buy in and lock in, and because of it, you know, they're getting comfortable making plays. They're having a lot of fun making plays, and that makes it a lot easier to do what they're doing and work every day and accept this responsibility. They're doing a great job.
Yes, sir.
Big time game by 3.
Look at that dance right there. I love to see
Great
that
move,
one.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, hit big Hail Mary right there. Prairieville's ball. QB scrambles out, throws it, and the ball's in there, and scores a touchdown right here late in the game. Should be one of the few plays. Jackets win a ball game right here, 51-13. You know, team coming off with big wins like this, scoring some big time points in the game. Your stats for this game is DeJon Goldman, 16 for 21 passing, 312 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. Deshaun Goldman, 5 receptions, 154 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Brendan Paul, 10 rushes, 48 yards, and 1 touchdown. You know, Coach, how you feel about the defense and the way they play? You know, defense stepping up, big time. I like the coverage. You know, not too many passes downfield. You know, score touchdowns.
Yeah, I think Coach Prescott's done a phenomenal job, and that staff has done a phenomenal job. You know, simplifying things, getting these kids a chance to kind of take out some of the thinking and just get the job done and fly around and play nasty defense, which has kind of always been who we are and who we want to be. Because, you know, I know offense wins games, but defense is still the X factor is going to win championships. So we got to continue to hone in on that and make us better there. Negate some of the big plays, get off the field at some critical times. You know, we missed some big chances to get some sacks and some big tackles for losses. But, you know, other than that, I think we're flying around and doing a really good job. D-line is playing a lot better, which has been a big boost for us the last couple of weeks defensively, because it's going to make the life better on the back end with those DBs and a chance for them to make plays and get picks. So really right now we're flowing. We're getting after it. Everybody's feeding off each other. Middle linebackers able to run because D-line is dominating and putting a little pressure on the quarterback to make some things happen. But also offensively, you talk about complementary football, offensively is getting us a lead. So, you know, we're making teams do things that they're not the most comfortable doing. And that's kind of been the reverse here since I've been here. Like, we're usually the ones having to press. But it's been a lot of fun to watch the defense get after it because the offense is getting after it.
Yes, sir. You know, because we talked a little about Deshaun Goldman, but, you know, he has a lot of growth throughout the season that you saw. You know, you mentioned that he made a catch that he maybe missed before, you know. It's important to see him, like, the other receivers be able to shine like this, young and older guys.
Yeah, you know, we got one ball, so there's going to be different guys every week that's going to have an explosion because you're going to try to take away so-and-so here, and then so-and-so is going to pop open. But the biggest thing is some of the plays you see made or drops we had earlier in the years or bad routes we ran earlier in the years or throws we've missed. So you can see as we've gotten better, we continue to work and hone in on who we are. You can see where we've grown and we've gotten better. It's because we're now executing plays that we struggled with early in the year that put us in bad spots and ultimately led to a couple of losses. To where now we're starting to hit that, and we're getting more comfortable. Our quarterback's getting more comfortable. O-line is continuing to get better. So you know, between this little explosion we've had, it has a lot to do with these coaches and these 11 guys at a time that have embraced getting better every day and wanting to be special and wanting it.
Yes, sir. You know, we're going to gear up for another big time LP rivalry. You know, right down the road from us. Once again, you know, we got a taste of them in a jamboree.
Yeah.
What do you want to see mostly improved and played differently Thursday night?
Well, I mean, you're going to see two different teams from the jamboree. You know, both very vanilla, just want to get physical, want to get nasty with each other, kind of show our hatred in the rivalry in the jamboree, and just kind of kick off the football season with a little excitement. But both teams are better. They've grown, and I think you're going to see just a hard knock LP rivalry game. Throw out all records. I don't really care what their record is, nor have I talked about it to this point, nor am I going to talk about it because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where we are. It doesn't matter where they are. I think we all know we're going to get their best. I believe it's their homecoming night, so they're going to have some energy. You know, we're on their home turf. They're going to be comfortable, and Chad Mahaffey does a phenomenal job with play calling and putting those guys in position to make plays. And, I like some of the stuff I've seen from them this year and how they've grown, and they've competed every week. You know, we just got to continue to start fast and put them in position where, they got to run their trick plays and do the different things they want to do to kind of keep that energy and that momentum.
Yes, sir. Last away game, I'm sorry. A Thursday night football game, but it's going to be a big time atmosphere. Yep. Stadium's going to be rocking. How could cold weather too as well? Yeah. The team get a taste of that before we go ahead and get ready to make a big run in the playoffs. How important is that going to be in the?
Well, I mean, it's everything you want to see again before you gear up for the playoffs. We're in. And, that's the biggest thing is we're in the dance, but we're trying to finish this thing and try to win a district title. But everything you get Thursday night is going to be what you're going to see again later on in a few weeks, whether it be the second round, first round, second round, semis, quarter, whatever it is. It's going to get colder. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere, which we're used to in this district. And, we're just going to continue to work on us and make Denham Springs as good as Denham Springs can be and figure out a way to go 1-0.
Yes, sir. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Brett Beard Show, sponsored by James Restaurant. Once again, I'm your host, Chase, and with me as always is Coach Beard.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Great job.
Jackets do play away this Thursday at Walker, 7 o'clock p.m. kickoff. See you there.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.